Hello everyone. Welcome to the mini podcast series on Aries ascendant, which is Mesh Lagna. I have here with me a very special guest, Mr. Prithviraj Singh, who is an astrologer, movie screenwriter, and director of photography in Mumbai. So, hi Prithvi, how are you?
Hi, how are you, doctor? I hope you're doing good. I hope your podcast is going well. First of all, congratulations for your podcast. You have been providing good services for a lot of people. There are a lot of listeners. So, all the best to you. How are you doing?
Thank you so much. Yes, I'm very good that you have accepted our request to join Aries ascendant. So let's begin, right?
Yeah, let's start.
Hmm. So, when it comes to Aries ascendant, first we'll start with which is the lord of Aries, which is Mars, right? Mangal.
Yeah,
So, first let us start with the personality traits of Aries ascendant.
yeah.
First, what I feel is Aries ascendant personality. It's like independent. They do not like to be dependent on anybody, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
And it's like they want to achieve any goals on their own.
yeah.
And here I want to point it out that Mars should be strong. If Mars is weak here, if it's aspected by Shani or Rahu again, then there will be very much issue, right?
Exactly. I mean, it's the first ascendant of the zodiac. They happen to be very individual. They happen to be, very. Their characteristics are very strong. I mean, they happen to be a very
Hmm.
strong-headed people, and they believe in independence. And the ruler itself, like you pointed out, Mars. I mean, Mars is a god of war.
Yes.
So, god of war is basically, they are very strong-headed and they love competition. They go ahead with the challenges, and they do definitely face them strong-headedly. Absolutely. So it's the first sign of the zodiac, so it is very highly independent.
Yeah. So,
That's actually, I
hmm.
believe that is what actually makes them
Yeah.
different from the unique from the crowd.
Yes.
Yeah.
True. So, I have observed one more thing. As we know, there is Mangal Rahu Dosh. As you know, this is known as Angarak Yoga, if you remember, right?
Mangal Rahu.
Yes.
Doctor, what do you, like for instance, Mangal Rahu Dosh? Yeah, you're right. I mean planetary combination between the two. I mean, it creates some kind of a malefic effect. So maybe you can explain in detail.
Yeah.
Like for instance,
Mhm.
what does Rahu and Mangal actually?
Yeah. So that's what I
Yeah.
was trying to explain is, so if any Aries ascendant personality, if he or she gets aspected by Rahu, okay, if ascendant gets aspected by Rahu, then that individual will be short-tempered and they will be very indecisive in their life. They will be very restless. They'll be uncertain. Like we see so many people who are not certain in their life. They don't know where their life is going. They are directionless because again, Mangal is what? It's your decision power. And if anyhow malefic planet get affected with Mars, then you will be indecisive, you will be restless, and you will be uncertain throughout your whole life. It's like that person won't be able to find its goal in a whole life, right?
The person itself is actually, what I believe. I believe in, like, as you pointed out, doctor. I mean, Aries, actually they
Mm.
are, I mean, absolutely a very, it's a fiery planet. I mean, come
Yes,
on.
yes,
I mean, it's a
yes.
fiery planet, and the Mars. I mean, Mars is a fiery planet, and Aries itself is the first sign of the zodiac. So they actually they're fire lord sign. So it's a mole tricone sign for Aries.
Mhm.
The Mars is very much more comfortable in Aries compared to Scorpio, because Aries is the first sign of the zodiac, and Mars is more comfortable in Aries compared to in any other sign. But
Mm.
it definitely, as you pointed out, Mars, it gets exalted in the sign of Capricorn. But
Mhm.
still, even though Aries, especially if you can see that Aries, like for instance, the Sun.
Yeah.
Sun is Sun is the king. It is the king. I mean, it is the king of the solar system. So the king itself is more, comfortable, and it gets exalted in the sign of
Mhm.
Aries. The king
True.
is in its throne. So that's what I mean. The Aries represents. I mean, it represents competition,
Yeah.
combativeness, fiery spirit, free willness, and there are so many things.
Mhm.
Are you pointing out something, Doctor?
Yeah, so I was like, let's talk about physical traits, like how those person looks,
Yeah, physical
what are
traits.
their natures.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's as we know, it's governed by Mars, and as you told, it's fiery in nature. It's very energetic planets. So I think this Aries ascendant people, they are very straightforward and they are very quick natured. Like they will speak to you anything on the spot. They will be very straightforward, and
yeah.
also it's they may act without thinking. They'll beat someone and then they will think, oh my god, what they have done, because it's the Aries, as you have told, it's a god of war.
Yeah, actually, it's a fiery planet,
Mm-hmm.
and the planet that rules the first sign is Mars.
Yeah.
So
And
Mars itself is very competitive. It is actually a mole tricone
yeah.
sign of Mars. I mean, so
Mm.
definitely Mars is more comfortable in Aries compared to any other sign.
Mm.
And actually, it represents the head. So the head of the ram itself is like, they are completely into competition, like
Mm-hmm.
sports, like they're very strong-headed people, strong-headed
Mm.
personalities. So as you mentioned
One
it,
yeah, one more thing what I think
yeah,
about is one of its characteristics, their characteristics we know is they will do something without worrying of their outcome, right?
yeah,
They won't think about the outcome, they'll just do it. And this is why I think most of the leaders, they are Aries ascendant, or they are
true,
somehow affected with Sun or Mars energy, because
yeah,
they do not think about the result. Most of the human beings, what they do in nowadays this world is, they'll think about the result, and that is
yeah,
totally wrong. We have to focus on work rather than worrying about any outcome, right? And
absolutely,
this is what make this Aries ascendant people unique. It's
yeah.
they will work without worrying of the outcome. And
No, actually,
also,
I would
yeah.
like to correct you in this. I mean, Aries actually it's a very competitive. I mean, see, they love competitive spiritness. Like
Hmm.
for instance, if they tell, it's a characteristic of the personality. If you tell them to, go for a 9 to 8 job or 12-hour job a day. So 12-hour
Hmm.
job a day, they are not going to be very comfortable with that because they need their own independence. So most
Yes.
of the Aries people you would see, they would be working as a business, as a businessman,
Yeah, new
as
startups
businesswomen.
also.
Yeah, I mean they're more into entrepreneurship and
Hmm.
they're more into sales. I mean anything because if you see the Aries from the first sign, the third house of
Hmm.
communication is Gemini. So
Yeah.
Gemini is a very 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 mutable sign, and it's
Hmm.
the planet itself is ruled by Mercury. Mercury is very quick. It is more quick than Mercury is more stronger than Mars. If you can see, I
Yeah.
mean, if you compare them,
True. Yeah.
because there's a planet of communication, and Mercury itself is a prince among 9 planets.
Hmm. Yeah.
So the third house is of competition. Third house is of courage. It's the
Hmm.
house of communication, sales,
Hmm.
marketing, everything.
Hmm.
So, yeah, please
So
carry on. You were saying something
yeah.
about Rahu and Mars combination.
Yeah. So I want to add one more point in physical triad. This is the
Yeah,
point which I have seen in most of the people, that Aries ascendant people, they walk very rapidly. If you look at their personality closely, they'll walk very rapidly, and their head will be leaning somewhat forward, and they'll walk very rapidly. So I have seen this by it's empirical research I have done is by my experience what I've
empirical
seen.
research.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Hmm.
You mentioned something like they work very rapidly.
Yeah, it's like they walk very rapidly, I said.
Okay.
And their head is leaning forward. And
Yeah,
why, as you gave example of Ram, remember?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and like that, Ram hits into the wall. In the same way, like these people, they'll lean their head forward and they'll walk very rapidly, like that.
yeah,
So when it comes to Aries ascendant and comparison with its mental traits, how do
yeah.
you think that how they maybe think? Like
Like
what
for
is their
instance,
mental process?
their mental process is judged by their personality. Like for instance, if you look
Mm.
at the fifth house, if you're talking about the ascendant, doctor, so it'll go by
Yeah,
go by houses.
yeah,
So for instance, first house is the personality, you yourself.
yeah.
Now the first house itself is very domineering
Mm-hmm.
because it believes in straightforwardness and it's a very fiery planet.
Yeah.
So they can achieve anything, whatever they want, they fix their mind into. I believe that. The
Mm.
second part is, if you look at the second house of home, family life, it's
Mm.
ruled by Venus, that is Taurus. So
Mm.
Taurus is related to wealth and finances and family and environment. So they grow up in a family and environment where they could get a lot of nourishment from mother or maybe the
Mm.
father,
True.
or maybe, I mean, it might be. And they strongly believe in a financial. I mean, they believe in financial success because Taurus is a sign of it's ruled by Venus.
True.
So Venus is all about beauty, luxury, art, artistic. They have artistic endeavors
Mm.
too. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
they have their family are very artistic, or they believe in wealth, finance.
Mm.
Now, if you look at the third, so as I told you, it's
Mm.
ruled by Gemini. Gemini
Mm.
is a very communicative planet, like you
Mm.
know. So
Mm.
Gemini is also the planet of, where you basically you go for
True.
public speaking,
True.
sales, marketing. Third house is also the house of courage. So
Mm.
basically, the third house is like, for instance, uh, it's
Source
the
of
enemy.
energy. Yeah. Mm.
Yeah, actually, Mercury is the enemy of the ascendant. So
Mm.
Mars is
True.
not good. It's not very well with
Mm.
Mercury. So that's why, I mean, third house is
True.
the planet of communication.
Mm.
So the communication is very, I mean, it's a very idealistic,
Mm.
it's a very idealistic communication.
Mm.
And they actually are very good communicators. Actually, they have a very good, strong voice.
Yeah.
They have very good, they have a good personality, good,
Mm.
strong voice, straightforwardness and something.
Mm.
Now, if you look at the fourth house when it comes to Cancer, I mean, fourth house is of land, property, and home. So
Mm.
land, property, and home, fourth house is ruled by Moon.
Mm.
Now, Moon is something like, it's your mind,
Mm.
and it's almost like
Mine
they.
and comparison with Mars, how it would be. It's not good, right?
Actually, it depends. I mean, most of the people, like for instance, I mean, if you go for a positive trade, yes. If the individual itself, they
Mm.
accept that, they want to go for a positive. I mean, they want to go for a positive vibe. So they would definitely,
Mm.
be very progressive.
True.
So, instance, if they don't want to go into that kind of a, because it happens to be a very, a planet that has a rut mind. So
Yeah.
it depends on the energy itself. Where do you want to
So.
focus and direct your energy
Mm.
towards? So because they happen to be a very
Mm.
singular personality, so if they occupy the mind in a singular goal, then
Mm.
absolutely they can achieve it.
What I
So
have observed is in these people, the mental trait is like they love challenges. They have spirit of fighting. It's like you cannot defeat them. They are very strong and they will feel like nothing can pull them down. So that's why
yeah,
they are someone who always stay ahead of other. So now when it comes with Aries ascendant person and its love compatibility, if we see, so potential matches, it can be with Gemini, can be with Libra, or it can be with Aquarius, right?
I mean,
And
you're speaking about the, I mean,
uh,
friendship
yeah, it's like a compatibility, yes.
compatibility, doctor. I believe that I think the four houses are very important.
Mm-hmm.
The first, fourth, seventh, and tenth,
Mm-hmm.
because they
True.
represent your. I mean, those are the
Majorly, if
four.
we say majorly, it's seventh house because it's a house of relations and all.
Yeah, absolutely. The seventh house is the
Mm.
house of relationship. So
Mm.
because it is the opposite directly opposite to the first ascendant, so they will always
Mm.
be very comfortable with the opposite sex. I mean, the opposite house.
Yeah, true.
So it's almost like it's a given. I mean, because
Mm.
because Mars is ruled by a fiery planet,
Mm.
so they always would seek deep inside their heart that what would it feel like a Gemini husband or a Gemini wife. So
Mm.
they require a lot of love, nourishment, care, and they need balance in their life. So opposite to them, that is the Libra ascendant.
True.
Libra ascendant are very powerful ascendant as compared to Aries ascendant as well,
Yeah,
because they
true.
both are
Very true. Mm.
cardinal in nature. So it's a good compatibility. And when
Yeah.
you speak about compatibility, I would also go for the trine, the first and fifth
Yes.
and ninth house.
Yes. Yes.
So
Yes.
Aries will always be very good with Leo ascendant and or Sagittarius, because
Mm.
Leo is ruled by the sun, and Sagittarius is ruled by planet Jupiter. So fiery planet Mars is also, they are very comfortable. I mean, the planet itself is very comfortable. The personality of Aries ascendant is very good with these
Mm.
fiery signs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I would like to add one more part. It's Aries ascendant health. So what
yeah,
will happen is this Aries ascendant, as we see it, it somewhere relates with the disease of the head. They'll have health problem related with digestive system, acidity, biles, and they will suffer with minor injuries occasionally. And I have seen that Aries ascendant people, they are also prone to accident. If they are prone to accident only if Saturn is somehow in relation with Mars. Anyhow, like there is conjunction or if it's aspect, then somehow their health gets affected. But majorly, Mars people, they'll have head related disease, and second
Yeah.
is they'll be prone with accident. And
Yeah, I think I see, like, for instance, because the sixth house is ruled by Mercury again.
yeah,
So Mercury is a very malefic planet for
yeah.
Libra ascendant because the third
So
house is also
as
malefic.
you have mentioned here, malefic
Yeah.
planets. Let's talk about malefic planets. So here, Mercury is the very malefic planet for Aries ascendant because
Yeah.
here it's a lot of third and sixth house both, and
Yeah.
it will make a very weak. And as we know, third house is the house of this brothers, sisters, and this family side of relationship. So with that brothers and all, they will be having very weak relation. Also, it is considered a source of energy house. So again, that house will be affected. And as we know, sixth house is the house of disease and all. So again, due to malefic planet, there will be issues.
Yeah, actually, Mercury rules the nervous system. So, like
Hmm.
you pointed out, like for instance, the head. So, the head, basically, the nervous system is something that Aries
Yeah.
ascendant must take care of themselves because later on in their life they might have some kind of neurological issues or something. So that's why
Mhm.
it's very important for them to take care of their health. So basically, Mercury is actually not a very good planet for Aries ascendant. So it's
Yeah,
malefic,
true,
absolutely.
true.
Any
And
yeah,
what
any
about
planet. Yeah.
what about auspicious planet? Can we consider is in the fifth house Sun, fourth house Moon, and Jupiter ninth house? I think it's a good auspicious houses, right? Because they are friendly nature with Mars.
Yeah, absolutely. Always go with the trine because I believe
Yes,
in trine. So
yes,
first, fifth, and ninth houses are like they're friendly houses, the most
true.
compatible houses. It's almost like they're soulmates.
Mm-hmm.
So the first, fifth, and ninth house is a very good combination if they ever want to
Mm-hmm.
get married, or I mean, if you talk about marriage, if you want to talk about relationships.
Yeah.
So it's a very good thing to go around,
Mm.
go with the fifth and the ninth house
Yeah,
because they
and
have, yeah,
here what will happen in the ninth house, as it is ruled by Jupiter. So here Bhagyodaya of particular person will be at a very young age, at 16 to 18 years. He or she they will be famous, right?
yeah.
So that also can be added here. And what do you think is a lucky gem for this Aries ascendant person?
No, a lucky gemstone for the Aries ascendant person is the first point would be your own Lagnesh, like you say it,
Yeah.
your own gemstone, like your own
Mm.
Lagnesh gemstone,
True.
the gemstones of the first house. So
Mm-hmm.
the gemstone that would be very good.
Okay.
For instance, if it depends, see, doctor, it depends on the planet itself. You know it
Mhm.
as well as
Yeah,
I
yeah.
know it. The planets are very important in astrology. Even
Mm.
though the personality may be strong, that's true, and they are. There is no doubt about it. But still, the gemstone is. I mean, the planet itself. It depends on the planet, where the planets are. So,
True.
if it should be, if the planets are in favorable position, then definitely you should go with your
Mhm.
ascendant,
Okay.
lord. That is coral. Red coral is good.
Yeah.
Or in some instances, people wear white coral. That is also good.
Mm. And
So,
favorable color if for Aries ascendant, if I want to add, then it may be red
yeah,
and
don't
pink,
mind. I
right?
mean, yeah,
Red
I
and
would like to
pink.
add something.
Yeah.
Like for instance, apart from coral, if sun is positioned in a very good place, they can wear ruby, or
Hmm.
they can go for
Yeah.
Jupiter ring. That is the
True.
yellow sapphire. That is yellow
Hmm.
sapphire topaz. Any substitute they can
Mm.
wear it. Any
Again, it
alternative.
depends on other planets' position also, and
Absolutely. Planet's
yeah.
position is the main. See, in astrology, basically, doctor, you know more than I do that the
Mm.
planet itself is very important compared to any kind of a personality. I mean, you might have any kind of a personality first house, but the planets are specially responsible for, to give their auspicious or negative
True.
effects in the horoscope. So that depends on the planet
Mm.
itself, the position.
Okay. So I think this is it. We have discussed a mini podcast on this, and
Doctor, you want to complete the 12 signs?
uh,
Like,
Yes, yes. So what I was trying to say is, in the next video or in next session, we'll try to do other signs like that. It will be
Okay.
better for viewers also. That's why I call it a mini podcast series. And yeah, it would be amazing if you join us again. And yeah, thank you so much. And I would tell our viewers, if they want any astrology consultancy, they can contact Mr. Prithviraj, and they can contact me also. We will be happy to help you all. And
Yeah.
thank you so much. We'll see
Thank
you.
you. Thank you, doctor. Bye.
Bye.